Did we really think I was going to come up with my first tag video and not have it be about musicals? Hi everyone, my name is Clyde, welcome back to my channel, thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be an original tag video. I will say this is inspired by some other tags that I've seen. There have been various other musical theatre book tags before. Specifically the one that I've done before is one that was created by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog, and I did that right at the start of my channel, and I like the way she did it with picking a song from each musical and giving you a prompt based on that, and that is kind of the way that I'm doing this one as well. So I will link her original video down below because it is heavily inspired by that. But this is also inspired by my readathon that I've been doing this month. So yes, this video is a little bit late. I probably should have done it at the beginning of the month to give everyone time to do it if they wanted to, but I got busy actually going to the theatre. I'm very, very sorry. By the way, please ignore the Christmas stuff. I know we're still in November and Vlogmas has not started yet, but I have started filming it, so we're being festive. Why not? My birthday's gone past now, so it is officially Christmas. Also, I just saw the Coca-Cola advert on TV, so it is definitely officially Christmas now. So, what is this tag, I hear you ask? No, I don't. I am sat looking at a camera. But as I said, I have picked a song for various different musicals. There is a prompt based on each of those songs, and for each of those prompts I need to pick a book. If you're doing this, you need to pick a book. You know how tag videos work, but basically what this is this is the West End Reads tag for 2022. So all of these musicals that I'm going to be doing now are going to be musicals that have started generally within the past year, but kind of within the past like year and a half. We're going like since theatres reopened post-COVID, because like things opening have been a little bit slower. So I've made the time period a little bit longer so I actually could get like 10 prompts that I wanted for this. But the idea is going to be that each year I will update this tag with new shows that have started during that previous year when we do new rounds of West End Reads, because I've had a really good time doing it this year and I really hope that I can bring it back for another year next year. So I think that's all my rambling. I have 10 shows, 10 songs, 10 prompts, and I'm going to talk to you about 10 different books that I have not got off my shelves yet, so I should probably go and do that. So, based on the idea that this is all going to be shows that have started this year, I am also going to use all my answers of books that I've read this year, and I challenge you to do the same if you can. So the first one is going to be Beauty and the Beast. We had a tour that then had a West End run of this year. I did get a chance to go and see it when it was at the Palladium in London. It was a fun time, and the song for this is going to be Our Guest, and the prompt is a book that is really trying to impress. Think of Lumiere trying to impress Belle at the castle. And we're just going to get one of my obvious picks out of the way first, because this book is trying to impress. It is a special edition that pulls out all the stops, and also it's just very impressive in its writing, in my opinion, because I love this book so much. Can you guess what book I'm going to hold up? It's Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is the Illumicrate edition. I mean, I do have various pretty editions of this, but I think this one's my favourite. It has a slipcase. Like, if that's not trying to impress, I don't know what is. We've got Babel on the cover. We've got, like, stenciled edges with a quote on there. And then, like, yeah, it's just very pretty. It's very, very pretty. And like I said, the book is fairly impressive itself. Like, there's a lot of information in here, and I am impressed that her brain is like works enough to fit all of this information in. I am constantly impressed whenever I hear R.F. Kuang speak. So I think this fits for this prompt pretty well. So for the next musical, we're going to go with Legally Blonde, which had a revival at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre this year. And again, yes, I did have a chance to go and see this one. I love this production so much. It like changed things and made it more like current and up to date. And I wasn't sure if it was going to work before I saw it, but it really, really did. It's like the casting was fantastic. Courtney Bowman as Elle. This video is not meant for me to be giving you my theatre reviews, but sorry, you're going to get them a little bit. So the song for this is so much better, and the prompt for this is going to be a book that you love by an author that you disliked a book from before. So I feel like this one is ever so slightly cheating, because I have actually read like 4 books by this author now, and it's only the first one that I disliked, but their books just keep getting better and better, and this one was my favourite. So I am going to pick Gay Club by Simon James Green. This one is one I don't hear spoke about enough, and I really, really love it, so I will take any opportunity to speak about it where I can. It's about a kid who's basically running to become president of his school's LGBTQ plus society, and it's just a really fun YA comedy drama type book, and yeah, I really loved it. I did not like the first book that I read by this author, which was No I Can't Even. It just felt a little bit too juvenile for me when I was reading it, but every book I read by this author since I have really loved, and in particular this one. And what I particularly love is that when I went to Yalk I got this one signed, and he had a little stamp that says official member of gay club in it, and I love it. I really love this book. It's just a fun read, that's all I can say about it. So yeah, Gay Club by Simon James Green. We're going to go a little bit more negative now, not with the musical, just with the prompt. The musical is going to be The Cher Show, which had its UK premiere this year. It's done a tour. I think it's currently on tour. I think it's probably getting towards the end of the tour now, but it has been on tour this year. Again, I did get a chance to go and see it. It came to Sheffield, and I went with my mum and my sister, and I just had a really fun time with this one. It's not like my favourite show I've ever seen, but I'm very glad that I did go and see it. The casting, again, was great. There's 3 different versions of Cher in this show, and all 3 of them were superb. And the song for this one is going to be If I Could Turn Back Time, and the book is going to be A Book You Wish You Hadn't Read. And I think you all know what my answer is going to be, and it's going to possibly upset some of my friends, so I'm just going to say it very quick and get it over and done with, okay? The book is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. I read one Sarah J Maas book before this. It was not one of the like main books in like her various series that she's done. It was a random Catwoman book that she wrote for this DC reimagined YA series that they were doing. And I very much dislike the writing style, and I was told multiple times that apparently that book was not reflective of her writing as a whole, and that was a book that even if you like Sarah J Maas, you don't, a lot of people don't like anyway. So I was open to giving this one a go, and then it was put onto my TBR by one of my friends, which was my own fault. I told her that she could put it on my TBR. I let people pick books for me to read, and I did tell Liv that if she wanted to put this on there, she could do, and she took that opportunity, which is fair enough. But yeah, I did not like it. I had a bad time reading this, and every time I think about reading it, like, I like it less and less, and I feel like my star rating should go down, but also I don't want to offend people by changing my star rating on Goodreads, so we're just gonna not talk about it. I mean, to be honest, the only reason I still own it is because it will be talked about next month, because, you know, it's like wrapping up end of year content, and you talk about the books that you disliked as well as the ones that you liked, and I'm very sorry, but this is probably my least favourite book of the year. Bye. Okay, we're going to move on from negativity now. I don't think there's any like super negative questions for the rest of this. They've all got some slight positive aspect to them. None of them are like quite as negative as just like straight up I wish I'd not read this, so we're just going to move past that one. We're done. We're done. Okay, so the next musical that we have is one that I've seen more recently, and that is Cabaret, which, oh my god, if you can get tickets to this production, go and see it. It's so good. Now, the first time I saw Cabaret, I hated the production that I saw, and it's only like when I've seen this production that I've realised quite how much I hated it, because this one is so much better. The tickets are expensive, but it's so worth it. Anyway, off topic yet again, I'm just giving you my reviews of the shows. The song for this one is going to be Maybe This Time, and the prompt is going to be a book or an author or a series that you are willing to give a second chance, in the hopes that maybe this time you will love it or love them a little bit more. So the book I'm going to pick for this is actually a series. I read the first in the series earlier on this year, and I didn't hate it. I gave it like 3 stars, but there were definitely parts of this book that I didn't like. There were some problematic elements in there, but I have heard that the rest of the series gets better. And based on the TV show adaptation of this, I will really like the next book, because I really liked season 2 of the show, and that is the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. This one is A Duke and I. This is the first one. This is a Daphne and Simon book, and there is a very problematic element in their love story that I didn't enjoy. And to be honest, in general, I just didn't love Daphne as a main character. Like, I was a little bit bored by her, but I also couldn't put this book down. Like, it was just a very quick, easy read, and I'm very much looking forward to carrying on with the rest of the series, particularly like the Kate and Anthony book, the next one, because I loved season 2 of the show, and I'm very excited to read it as well. I did put it on my TBR earlier this year and didn't get around to it, but I will be reading it sooner rather than later, because I would like to. I need to have read book 3 and 4 before season 3 starts, because they've gone out of order now with the pairings, and season 3 is actually going to be based on book 4, so I need to have read 3 and 4 before that starts. Anyway, Bridgerton, that is my answer for this prompt. Next up, we have a musical that hasn't actually started yet. It starts this week though, and I'm going to go and see it next weekend, and I'm so excited about it. It is Newsies, which is one of my favourite musicals that I haven't seen yet, because it's never been like professionally performed in the UK. But But like I said, it is starting this week. I have tickets for next Saturday. Can you tell that I am desperate to see this musical? And speaking of desperate to see things, the song for this is Watch What Happens, and the prompt is a series that you cannot wait to carry on with. And for this, I am going to go with a book that should hopefully be arriving the day that you see this video. And the first one in this series is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is an adult romance. It's a companion series. The next one I can't actually remember the title of, but it's something to do with Astrid Parker. Is it Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail or something like that? Anyway, this one I read earlier on this year. It is a sapphic romance about a girl who comes back into town for her stepsister's wedding. She doesn't get on with her stepsister, but then she ends up starting a romance with her stepsister's best friend. And the second one is about the stepsister, and I'm so excited to continue on with this series. So this is my pick for Newsies. The next musical is one that I actually wasn't sure if I was going to go and see, but I'm really glad that I did, and it is Back to the Future. I enjoyed this one a lot more than I thought I would. I was really worried about what they would do to it because I love the film a lot, but I went to see it in October with Becca and I was pleasantly surprised by it. And the song I picked for this one is Johnny Be Good, and the prompt for this one is an oldie, or an oldie where I'm from. You can take it two ways. You can pick a classic book that you really enjoy, or you can pick more of a modern classic, something that you think is going to stand the test of time, or maybe something that is a retelling of a classic story. Go for it however you want to. Like I said, the prompt is an oldie where I'm from. Take it however you want to. For me, I'm gonna go somewhere kind of in between. It's a retelling of a classic story, but I would say it is considered a modern classic. We've had an anniversary edition of it out at this point. Actually, there's two books here, but one of them more so in particular, and it is Madeline Miller books. So we've got Song of Achilles and Circe. Song of Achilles we have had the anniversary editions out for, so definitely considered a modern classic at this point, but they are both based on Greek mythology as well, so a classic story. I read both of these this year, and Song of Achilles in particular I absolutely adored. It is a retelling of the story of Achilles and Patroclus and the Trojan War, and it is just very beautiful. I didn't know how much I would love the story and sort of like how highbrow the language would be and things like that, but it just felt like a really easy read. It was very like beautiful writing, but it wasn't like too intimidating to read. And yeah, I don't cry a lot of books, but Song of Achilles definitely got me in my feels, so I'm gonna say that one. I feel like it's gonna be one that I'm gonna think about for years to come, so definitely a classic in more ways than one. Next up, we're gonna go with another musical that got revived. I actually didn't get a chance to go and see this one, although I did go and meet up with Becca just after she came out from this show, and I know that she really enjoyed it. I have seen this show many a times though, so it wasn't like high priority on my list to see it again. I think I've seen it 5 times now, and that is Grease. It was on at the Dominion in London over the summer, and like I said, I did hear very good things about this production. The song from this is going to be We Go Together, and the prompt is going to be a book that just feels like the perfect book for you. Now, I could very easily have picked Babel again for this because we all know how much I love that book, but I'm gonna go different but also not that different, because actually Babel I was very interested in, and obviously I'd liked things from this author before, but at the same time, I am a bit picky with fantasy. I know it looks like from where I'm sat that I read a lot of fantasy and I love a lot of it, but like I can be fairly picky with it. Like there's some stuff that I absolutely adore, but then also there's some stuff that I'm just like, I have seen all this before and I am very bored by it. I tend to be a bit more generous in my ratings when it's a contemporary. I tend to be a bit more excited about contemporaries. I think just because I did go for a while where I wasn't a fantasy reader at all, contemporaries is where I feel safe. So when a certain author who may have also written Babel said that she was writing a contemporary book, and when I saw that it was like a critique on like the book world and cancel culture and all of these things, and just something that was really going to make you think, that did sound like a book that was perfect for me. And yes, it doesn't come out till next year, but yes, I have already read an arc of it, and that is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm going to put a picture here, and I really loved this book. It's not my favourite R.F. Kuang book by any means, like that is still Babel, but this book just felt like the sort of thing that I needed. Like I said, I'm very much here for any like different type of book that R.F. Kuang wants to write, because at this point I will read anything that she publishes. Like her next book, if you don't know anything about her next book, the one that's a romantic comedy set in hell but is also like about philosophy, like go and look into it because it sounds so good. And yeah, Yellowface definitely sounded like a perfect book for me, and I had a very, very good time reading it. Like, I read it in one day, I couldn't put it down. Next up, we have another musical that I didn't get to go and see. See, I've not seen all of them. This one is My Fair Lady. Technically, I could still see this if I really wanted to. It is still on tour, but it was in London. I think it was at the Coliseum. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I've probably edited that out. But it was in London, again, over the summer, I think it was. I know Meg went to see this production, and the song that I'm going to pick for this is With a Little Bit of Luck. I say the song I'm going to pick, actually Meg came up with this prompt, so thank you, Meg, for this one. And the prompt is a 5-star prediction. So like I said, I'm picking books that I have read this year or books I've acquired this year is what we're going to do for this one. So my 5-star prediction is actually one that I am planning on reading before the end of the year as well, because I have a buddy read of it next month, and that is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I actually don't know the synopsis of this at all. I don't know what I'm getting into. All I know is that I have loved everything that I've read that TJ Klune has written so far. I actually just read another TJ Klune book this week and really, really loved it. I know this one has been out for a while because it was an indie pub book, and now it's been picked up by a major publisher in the UK. And I know that Jem has read it when it's been out previously, and it's one of her favourite books, and I'm taking her word for it because Jem and I have different tastes, but also there's quite a few things that we both like absolutely adore, and I'm hoping that this is one of the ones that we are more aligned on. And yeah, we're having a buddy read of it in December. I can't remember who's taking part because there are a lot of us now. I think it's me, Jem, Lisa, Becca, Meg, Siobhan, Catherine and Emma, I think. There may be more, but they're the ones that I can remember. I'm very, very excited to read this. I really hope it's 5 stars. Like I I've read 4 TJ Klune books at this point. I've read House in the Cerulean Sea, Under the Whispering Door, that one was my favourite, The Extraordinaries and Flashfire. So all of those have been 4 or 5 stars. We're doing well so far. Fingers crossed this one continues on that trend. Next up, we have a show that I was lucky enough to see 3 times this year. So I went to see a concert version in January that had Jeremy Jordan and Frances Mailey McCann in it, and then I went to see a production at the Arts Theatre that had Jordan Luke Gage and Frances Mailey McCann in it, and then I went to see that production again, and then Jordan Luke Gage had to go off ill halfway through, and we saw his understudy, whose name I cannot remember. I'm very, very sorry. And then it closed like the day after, and I was very sad because I would very much like to have seen it again, particularly with Jordan Luke Gage finishing the show, because he was so good as Clyde that I would have liked to have seen him sing those last few songs one more time. And then lo and behold, it's been announced that it's transferring over for a run at the Garrick next year, and I have tickets for opening night, closing night, one day in between, and then potentially another one if we do end up going for someone's birthday in March. So I very, very much love this show. It's Bonnie and Clyde, for anyone who doesn't know. I love this show so much. Other than the last musical that I'm going to mention, this has been the soundtrack that has been played the most in this house this year, and I can't wait to see it again. And the song we're picking from this one is Too Late to Turn Back Now, and the prompt is a series that you kind of want to give up on, but you are just too invested to do so. And for that one, I'm going to pick technically like not the next in a series, it's like a new series in the same world, but still I am too invested to give up on it, even though I kind of want to, and that is Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. So this follows These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends, which was a duology, which was a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in like 1920s Shanghai. It was a fun time. The second one wasn't as good as the first one. Like, it just did a few things with the fantasy element of it that like felt like it felt like sort of the fantasy element of it had come to like a natural end point, and then they picked it back up again just for the drama in the second one. But ignoring like that storyline, because that wasn't really what I was here for, the like drama of the relationship, the angst was fantastic. And the thing is that the character that this one follows is possibly my least favourite character in that first duology. So like there's not really that much reason for me to carry on with this series, but I'm just hoping that we can get some of that angst and drama again, because I really, really enjoyed it when I was reading it. So I'm hoping that I really, really enjoy this one as well. And yeah, I'm too invested in the characters and the drama to not carry on with it, even if I don't necessarily love the character that this one follows or feel like it's entirely necessary. But we will see. I bought it now, I'm gonna read it. And then last, but by no means least, I mean, you knew there was going to be a prompt based on this musical, right? And you probably can already guess what song it's going to be if you have heard me talk at all in the last year. So the final musical is going to be Moulin Rouge. I have listened to this soundtrack many, many times. It's a soundtrack that just like gives me energy. If I just need like Like if I just really need to get something done, I listen to it at work a lot. It just helps me power through the day. But also just like, again, the drama of this soundtrack is so good. And that is why we're going to focus on this one particular song that is El Tango de Roxanne. And let me use this opportunity once again to recommend that you go and watch the 43-second clip of Aaron Tveit singing the end of this song with the opt up. I will leave it linked down below. You are welcome. And for anyone who doesn't know this song is all about someone who you love, but it's just doing things that break your heart and you don't quite know how to cope with it. And that pretty much is the prompt. It's a book that you absolutely adore, but it just breaks you so much. It causes you so much pain. And I mean, there's only really one series I can pick for this. Please ignore any camera angle change, because apparently my phone was feeling very sympathetic to Christian's pain and decided to throw itself on the floor when I reached down to get that book. But basically, I finished The Realm of the Eldlings this year. I got to Assassin's Fate, and oh my god, I loved this ending so much. But oh my god, this caused me so much pain. As I've said already in this video, I don't really cry at books, and this one I sobbed. Like, no, just no. I can't even tell you why, because it's 16 books into a 16-book series and so much has happened to get you to this point, but that's what it is. So much has happened to particularly this main character, to Fitz. Like, I love him. I love him with my whole heart. And like, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And all the other characters as well, like all the little glimpses of other characters that you got and everything coming together, it worked so well. I loved this. This is probably my favourite, like, last book in a series I have ever read. And that is saying something. I feel like this is a good way to end this video. So that is everything. That is the West End Reads Tag 2022. Like I said, the plan is that I'm going to redo this every year with new musicals that are starting. I already have some ideas for next year because I already have some tickets booked for things next year, and there are some shows that I'm so excited for. And I mean, thinking of the prompt for Next to Normal is going to be fun, right? Anyway, tags. I need to tag people. I am of course going to tag some of my group of friends who are also quite theatre obsessed. So I mean, Meg, obviously it'd be very wrong if I didn't tag Meg. I'm going to tag everyone that I went to the theatre with last week. So I'm going to tag Becca, Lisa, Liv and Jem as well. And then also I can't leave out Smash. I'm going to tag Ashley as well. So there are 6 of you that have been tagged in this video. But to be honest, anyone who wants to do this tag, please feel free to consider yourself tagged. And I can't wait to see what your answers are. But that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. And I'll see you guys next time with a new video. Bye.